Alright, so finally the sound on my photo booth camera is finally working. I tested it out like twice. So now I am finally able to make videos again. Especially the Dear Me video. Alright. Sorry, it's just I'm kind of wearing this 16X chest binder. And in order to make my chest a bit flat, I have to pretty much completely put it over the top part of my chest. Alright, so anyway, so today's video is gonna be a hashtag Dear Me video. I'm gonna put this on both my YouTube accounts again because I tried already and the sound apparently wasn't working, just like with the last 5 or 6 videos for some reason. And I'm also gonna put this on both my Facebook accounts. Alright, so anyway, but first, before I start the Dear Me video, for those of you who don't know what a Dear Me video is, it's pretty much a video speaking to my younger self. Alright, here it goes. Dear second grade me, that feeling you have of that when you pretty much have depression, you end up developing severe depression when you're in this grade, in second grade. But that feeling that you have of, and that question that you always ask yourself, why do I have a vagina? Why do I have boobs? It's because you were meant to be a boy, not a girl. Dear third grade me, in January, you have anger issues. Well, in the first half of your semester as a third grader, your mom develops an illness, hepatitis B, I think, or something like that. And by the time you're in January of your third grade year, you don't know how to deal with it, so you develop anger issues. And then a month later, after you develop your anger issues, you develop an eating disorder called binge eating disorder. And yeah, dear 6th grade me, you are seriously stupid for switching schools away from one of your best friends since 2nd grade. And you don't even know anyone there except for one guy who you've known since pretty much 3 days after you turned 5. And you two didn't become best friends, but you two didn't become best friends until later that day. But, still, you are pretty stupid for switching schools. But you do make quite a few friends at the K8, most of who are older. Well, pretty much, yeah. Anyway, dear 7th grade me. Well, actually, no. Still with the dear 6th grader me. But then, before you end, pretty much like, actually, no. Dear summer before 7th grade me. Why did you do that? Why did you just decide to cut? I mean, seriously, that pretty much was the beginning of a miserable road for you. Dear 7th grade me, you pretty much won't know this until Thanksgiving break, but you pretty much are starting to think of taking your own life for the very first time of many times, of multiple times. So, put down the phone and don't ask anyone how many pills it takes to kill yourself, and try going back downstairs where everyone else is, where all your friends, your mom, and one of your best friend's moms is, and where your best friend is. And distract yourself with just hanging out with other people so that you don't think of wanting to end your life. And then months later, you'll pretty much cut yourself like once or twice, second semester of your 7th grade year. So just please put down the blade and don't cut. Dear 8th grade me, you pretty much will eventually end up cutting quite a few times. It was both this school year was a decent year for you in your 8th grade year. But then again, it wasn't that great because of you cutting and being stupid. And you were stupid enough to... One of the things that made you stupid was the fact that you decided to try smoking. That you started smoking. And for that, you're an idiot. So, and then for a while on Facebook, before like 3 months, about 3 months before you start smoking, for a while you'll end up putting yourself as a male on Facebook, and like the next day after you do that, a friend of yours will ask, why do you have yourself as a male? Are you wanting to be a male? Do you want to have a penis? Instead of saying no, say yes. Because what's going through your head is that why you put yourself as a male for a while on Facebook is because you do want to be a male. But you don't know, I mean, like, being a male does sound great to you. And wanting to be able to be a male sounds great to you. The reason why is because you are a male. You are a boy. You are transgender. And that's the term you didn't even know until a year later. Dear freshman me, you are still smoking, and you're still stupid because of it. And you're stupid because you are still smoking. Then you cut a couple times your first semester of freshman year of your 9th grade year, and you end up kind of thinking of suicide, but don't don't think of that because it's not worth your time. And then second semester, you are still cutting and you're still smoking. Dear summer before 10th grade. Dear summer before 10th grade me. You're still smoking, but thankfully you quit in like mid-July, 2 weeks before your mom's birthday. But although she says she's gonna quit, she doesn't, and she's still smoking to this day. Even though she's said she's gonna quit many times, she doesn't. Anyway, dear 10th grade me, your first semester, it starts out great, but it's not. Because by the end, like towards the end of your first semester as a sophomore in high school, like the entire full, up until the entire full week of school, entire last full week of school, first semester before finals and winter break, you're cutting, but then during the entire last full week of school before finals and before winter break, you become extremely suicidal to the point where you're starting to mentally plan out, barely mentally plan out your suicide. And same thing happens to you during winter break. You pretty much become extremely suicidal because no one is talking to you, and it's not helping with the fact that you're being a female and male transgender is making it hard on you, and it's making it worse on you. Then in February, you start to actually physically plan out, write out your suicide, your suicide plan. And you're planning on what you're gonna say in your notes. One of the things that you write in your suicide plan is, for the note part, before you would include about how you're so miserable as a transgender, as how you're so miserable being a female to male transgender, and it sucks because nobody cares enough to even try to see if I'm okay. And the thing that sucks is that you're still always telling other people I'm there for you, and no one's really ever still never telling you I'm there for you if you ever need to talk. And it doesn't help with the fact that you feel like if you try to talk to someone, you're gonna end up annoying them. And it doesn't really help when you're not in a great place, really. Because, you, right at this moment, you're having you're not, exactly depressed, but you're not depressed, but you're not exactly happy as who you are. In March, you end up telling your counselor, and pretty much one of the other counselors as well, about how you're suicidal. And pretty much later that day, like pretty much during lunch, your mom comes to get you, and you go to this Jeffco walk-in center thing type place, and you talk, pretty much explain again why what you're doing, what we are going through exactly. And that, but later that day, you end up going to Jeffco Hills, a place that fucking sucks at helping you and every other kid and teen who seriously needs help. I mean, seriously. And Friday night, 2.5 days after you get there, well, 2 days technically, but you've been gone for like 2.5 days. But 2 days later, when you're about to leave, you're pretty much having a anxiety attack because you're being told that you can't leave there, even though you went there voluntarily. And that place fucking sucks with helping you and anyone else who goes there with learning how to cope with things, even though you know that your coping skills are pretty much taken away from you for the next 2.5 days that you're there. That being pretty much writing, and it pisses you off because, I mean, yeah, you get it. You understand why, but it being taken away from you doesn't help you out with, like, anything, really. Because, I mean, like, honestly, having your coping skills taken from you is pretty much, like, in a way, like, having your rights stripped away from you. And yes, I'm comparing rights and things that you use to cope with things, because it's pretty much like that. Because if a person has their rights taken, has their stuff taken away, that helps them cope with things, is pretty much like having a person having their rights stripped away. So, but then, yeah, this is pretty much like a little less than, and you going to Jeffco Hills is like 6 days after you turn 16, pretty much. So, and yeah, it pretty much doesn't really help you with coping with anything, really. And pretty much, really, they don't even help with teens and kids learning how to really cope with anything. I mean, like, yeah, I met, like, one kid who was, like, 6 years younger than me, and she apparently was in there twice before. Not gonna say why. But, yeah, but, like, what I was gonna say about this kid who's 6 years younger than you is that she learns a lot of coping skills. So, is that she learned a lot of coping skills that helped her, that will help her, hopefully, but pretty much you and everyone else that you met, at least as far as I know, didn't exactly learn any coping skills because Jeffco Hill sucks. But yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. So